Starship. The most powerful rocket is in production right now. And considering that it's being developed by SpaceX, the rocket will have different versions for different workloads. SpaceX's main goal with the Starship is to use it for traveling to Mars and then beyond. We are discussing about the working of Starship in today's video of Discoversin. For all those who don't know, SpaceX is an American aerospace manufacturer and space transportation services company, founded by Elon Musk in 2002. The main goal of SpaceX is to reduce space transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars and create better, efficient technology for further space travel. To know more about SpaceX Mars City vision, watch the video by clicking the I button or click the link in the description. Before we move on to Starship's working, let's see what Starship is, what it can be used for, and what the current progress is in construction. SpaceX Starship spacecraft and Super Heavy rocket, collectively referred to as Starship, represents a fully, rapidly reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, the Moon, Mars, and beyond. The development of Starship began around 2012. While the Starship program had only a small development team during the early years, a larger development team and build team was engaged in late 2018. Musk made Starship the top SpaceX development priority following the first human spaceflight launch of Crew Dragon in May 2020. NASA selected SpaceX to develop a lunar-optimized Starship to transport crew between lunar orbit and the surface of the Moon as part of NASA's Artemis program. A lunar-optimized Starship can fly many times between the surface of the Moon and lunar orbit without flaps or heat shielding required for Earth return. With large habitat and storage volume, Starship is capable of delivering significant amounts of cargo for research and to support robust operations on the lunar surface to enable sustainable moon base. Last year, NASA announced Starships as eligible for the Commercial Lunar Payload Services (CLPS) initiative to deliver payloads between Earth and the Moon and to enable humans to return to the Moon. Numerous structures, high bay assembly buildings, and elements of launch infrastructure have sprung up at Boca Chica over the last year. SpaceX assembled the first Starship prototypes outdoor using open-air welding, but teams are moving production to indoor, climate-controlled facilities. Several Starship prototypes were destroyed during ground testing, but SpaceX gathered critical data during these tests, allowing engineers to update design specifications and improve the Starship design. The companies plan to fly Starship test vehicles and super vehicle prototypes on hops to higher altitudes before attempting to orbital launch. Like the early Starship test flights, the first Super Heavy prototypes will fly low altitudes with subset Raptor engines, beginning with 2 of the SpaceX-made power plants. The main thing we needed to make progress on with Starship is the production system, Musk said. Making a prototype was relatively easy by comparison. In order to achieve the colonization of Mars goal, SpaceX has done something very incredible to the Starship system. The Starship is designed to send over 100 tons or 100 people into space with fully reusable design and liquid oxygen and methane fuel. These features mean that a team can fly to Mars, refuel using the planet's resources, and then return home. That, in turn, paves way for some of SpaceX's more ambitious goals like self-sustaining city on Mars by 2050 and farther-flung ventures that turn humanity into a multi-planetary species. They have created the most powerful rocket engine and with some really new technologies and ideas to ensure the rocket works as intended. The uncrewed Starship will allow for the transport of satellites, large observatories, cargo, refueling tanks, and other unmanned assets. There are as many as 5 variants of the Starship. The crewed Starship. This variant is the most important version of all types. This rocket will carry up to around 100 passengers and can be operated for long distances, that is, Moon, Mars, and beyond. The cargo Starship. In this variant, the rocket's bay door will open like a large crocodile jaw. It will be having a stunning 1,000 cubic meters of usable space for goods and cargo. The tanker ship. This version of the rocket will be used for on-orbiting refueling, which will reduce the cost of Starship operation. The one-way Starship. This variant won't be developed in the near future, but SpaceX has plans to build it in the long term as technology improves. The rocket will only be made to inject payloads into the outer solar system. The lunar Starship. This rocket will only be used for lunar missions. The rocket will only stay in space between the Earth and the Moon. This version of the Starship won't have large flaps or heat shield, as it won't be re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. The Earth Transport. This rocket will only be used for point-to-point travel just on Earth. Now, let's look at some of the technical details about the Starship crewed version. At first, Starship is not only the name of the full rocket, but also to the upper stage. But the name of the first stage, which is where the booster stays, is super heavy. It's made up of stainless steel and stood 120 meters or 394 feet tall. The Starship uses new Raptor engines in every stage. The Raptor is the most ambitious engine ever made in the history of mankind. It is powered by subcooled liquid methane and subcooled liquid oxygen, using a staged combustion cycle, unlike the simpler open-cycle gas generator system. The closed cycle makes the engines extremely powerful and up to 98% efficient. SpaceX Raptor engines began flight testing around the Starhopper prototype in July 2019 and became the first full-flow stage combustion rocket engine ever flown. Raptor also produces the highest combustion chamber pressure ever reached by an operational rocket engine at 330 bar or 33,000 kilopascals. Apart from all of this, there's one major noticeable difference between Starship and other rockets. Why are these Starships built from stainless steel? Starships have a huge diameter in comparison to other rockets we've seen so far. This large diameter is due to pressurized volume of 1,000 cubic meters, which can hold a cargo load of 100 metric tons or 100 people. At first, the main material selection of a Starship looks weird. With materials such as aluminum and carbon fiber that is lighter and provides adequate strength, stainless steel does not sound like a good choice. But due to the Starship being fully reusable, it was sent from and to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. So, for the ascent, we want something that is strong at extremely low temperatures because of the liquid oxygen propellant. And for entries, we need it to be able to withstand high scorching temperatures. This is where high-quality stainless steel alloys start to make sense. At low temperatures, the stainless steel exhibits an increase in strength, therefore not having any issues with the material becoming brittle. And steel can easily operate at temperatures at around 840 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, both aluminum and carbon fiber are unable to operate at these temperatures as expected. Another benefit of stainless steel is that heat shielding on the backside is unnecessary. The side facing the wind does require a means of cooling and will be the first to feature a regenerator issue. Although stainless steel is comparatively a heavier metal, it provides overall better properties for the extreme operating circumstances of the spacecraft, as well as being the more economic approach. These are all very impressive, but if SpaceX wants to take people on Starship for an extended period of time, things will become much more complicated, as they will need life support systems that add weight and complexity to the vehicle. And thanks to long distance, astronauts won't get resupply missions for years, and they will have communication delays with Earth. Radiation exposure will become even more severe, and it's unclear how that will affect the human body. But these challenges won't stop Elon Musk from reaching his goal. Musk said, "I don't think it's actually super hard to do that. Relative to the spacecraft itself and the life support system is pretty straightforward." SpaceX already has some experience with life support systems with its new crew capsule called Crew Dragon. However, providing life support for a short trip to orbit is much different than what is needed to keep people alive for weeks or months in deep space. Like on the International Space Station, where people live for months at a time, a regenerative system is in place for things like oxygen and water, meaning they're recycled in a closed-loop system. Urine and sweat are recycled to turn back into drinking water, while some of the water is split apart into oxygen and hydrogen in a process known as electrolysis. so that people can breathe. Musk also added that life support systems on the Starship would be regenerative, so this won't be a problem for SpaceX and crewed flight missions. Now, we know that Starship will be the marvel of engineering in the space industry. So, let's talk about Elon Musk's crazy vision of the future. Well, that sounds like a different video to speculate and investigate on Discover Zen.